She kept talking about how she had ruined everything and how she didn't deserve to be happy after what she had done, and while Emma handled this maturely by focusing on her own decisions rather than trying to comfort Sarah, I could see that she was getting upset by how despondent Sarah sounded. The call ended with Sarah thanking Emma for being brave enough to talk to her directly and telling her that she hoped Emma would have a wonderful life, and that she was sorry for all the pain her return had caused. Emma told Sarah that she forgave her for leaving and hoped Sarah would find happiness in her own life, but that they wouldn't be talking again. After we hung up, Emma seemed relieved to have had the conversation and satisfied that she had been able to express her feelings clearly and kindly, though she was also emotionally drained and spent the rest of the weekend processing her feelings with Lisa and me. We thought this conversation had provided the closure that both Emma and Sarah needed to move forward with their separate lives, and that while it had been emotionally difficult, it had ultimately been a healthy way to end this chapter. But then, this past Tuesday morning, I received a phone call that changed everything and made me question whether we should have handled this situation differently from the very beginning. The call was from a hospital social worker in the city where Sarah has been living, informing me that Sarah had been admitted to their psychiatric unit after what appeared to be a suicide attempt, and that I was listed as her emergency contact from when we were married, even though we've been divorced for 9 years. According to the social worker, Sarah had taken an overdose of prescription medication sometime Monday night and had been found by her landlord when she failed to pay her rent. She had left a note apologizing for the pain she had caused her family and saying that she realized she had lost her children forever and couldn't live with the guilt and regret of her choices. I was completely shocked and horrified by this news, and my first reaction was to wonder whether Emma's phone call had somehow triggered Sarah's suicide attempt, and whether I was responsible for putting Sarah in a dangerous mental state by supporting Emma's decision to end contact permanently. For now I have just told Lisa. I also called the hospital social worker and explained our family's situation, including that Sarah had abandoned the children 9 years ago and that any contact with her had been traumatic and destabilizing for them. I asked the social worker to convey to Sarah that while we hoped she would get the mental health treatment she needed, we would not be visiting or participating in her care in any way. I also provided the social worker with contact information for Sarah's sister, who lives across the country but who might be able to provide family support during Sarah's recovery, since I felt that Sarah shouldn't be completely alone during this crisis, even if we couldn't be the ones to provide that support. The social worker was very understanding about our position and assured me that the hospital staff would not pressure us to have contact with Sarah against our wishes, and that they would focus on connecting her with appropriate mental health resources and support systems that didn't involve her children. It's been several days since I received that phone call, and I'm still struggling with questions about whether we could have handled this situation differently, whether there were warning signs we missed, and whether protecting my children from Sarah's instability was worth the risk that she might harm herself as a result of feeling completely rejected. I wanted to update everyone who has been following our story because this development obviously changes the nature of the situation significantly, and because I'm hoping that sharing our experience might be helpful to other families dealing with similar challenges around estranged parents who want to reconnect with children who have moved on with their lives.